Hello. Today we will be discussing and identifying various types of written conventions. To be more specific, we will be focusing on simple, compound, complex, and compound complex sentences. We will also review independent and dependent clauses so that we can better understand the different types of sentences. Let's go ahead and begin by listing the definitions of the clauses and types of sentences. The definition of a dependent clause is provided in the slide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the illustration below. If you notice, the weak man represents a dependent clause. He is unable to pick up the barbell because it contains a subject and a predicate. This is a good illustration to remember if you are struggling to figure out the difference between an independent and a dependent clause. The definition to an independent clause is provided in the slide. Let's go ahead and look at the second illustration. Unlike the weak dependent clause that we just saw, the strong man represents an independent clause because he is strong enough to pick up the barbell that contains a subject and a predicate, because he completely put enough thought into picking up that barbell. Now that we have established the difference between an independent clause and a dependent clause, let's go ahead and take a look at the types of sentences. There are 4 types of sentences. Number 1, simple sentences. Number 2, compound sentences. 3, complex sentences, and finally number 4, compound complex sentences. A simple sentence is a sentence with only one clause. Let's look at the example. I read the book is an independent clause because I is the subject and read is the predicate. A complex sentence is a sentence containing one or more subordinate or dependent clause. Complex sentences always have a subordinator or a relative pronoun. Examples of subordinators and relative pronouns are provided in this slide. Let's go ahead and look at the example. If you notice, the example contains one dependent clause and one independent clause, which classifies the sentence as a complex sentence. Because she was so tired needs more information so that it could be a complete thought. But the second part, which states Elena did not finish her algebra homework, can stand alone and be classified as a complete sentence. Elena is the subject and finish is the predicate. A compound sentence is a sentence that contains 2 independent clauses joined by a coordinator. You can think of a coordinator as fanboys, also known as for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Let's go ahead and take a look at the provided example. I ate pizza is an independent clause because I is the subject and ate is the predicate. And is our coordinator that connects the 2 clauses together. My friend ate spaghetti is the other independent clause because my friend is the subject and ate is the predicate. Okay, so here's our practice. Let's go ahead and start with number 1. Marcus played video games, but Evelyn went shopping. Let's take this segment by segment, right before the comma. Marcus played video games. Marcus is our subject. Played is our predicate. This is an independent clause. But is our coordinating conjunction. Evelyn went shopping. Evelyn is our subject. Went is our predicate. And it is a complete thought, which means it's an independent clause. When we have 2 independent clauses together, that equals a compound sentence. Okay, number 2. Since they were bored, Marcus and Evelyn went to the movies. Let's take it segment by segment. Since they were bored. Okay, this needs more information, so we automatically know it's a dependent clause, but we still have a subject, which is they, were, which is our predicate. Let's continue. Marcus and Evelyn went to the movies. Marcus, subject, Evelyn, subject. Went is our predicate. This is a complete thought, therefore it is an independent clause. When you have a dependent and an independent clause, you have a complex sentence. Okay, number 3, Marcus enjoyed the movie, but Evelyn said that the ending was too depressing. Okay, let's start with our first segment. Marcus enjoyed the movie. Marcus is our subject, enjoyed is our predicate, and it's a complete thought, therefore it's an independent clause. Our coordinating conjunction, second part, Evelyn said. Evelyn is our subject, said is our predicate, and the reason why I say this is separate from this is because this is our subordinator, which separates the 2. So that the ending was depressing, we know it's a dependent clause because you need more information. So when you have 2 independent clauses and a dependent clause, you have a compound complex sentence. have number 4. Marcus and Evelyn returned home. Marcus and Evelyn are our subjects. Returned is our predicate. It's a complete thought. It's an independent clause. We only have one, so therefore we know it's a simple sentence.